Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that, believe it or not, touches nearly every aspect of our daily lives. We're talking about the global disposable packaging market.
Yeah, it sounds quite niche perhaps, but when you actually think about everything, your morning coffee cup, that online delivery you just got, the scale of this industry becomes really clear. We're going to unpack the hard numbers behind this huge reliance on convenience.
Absolutely. And our mission today is to take a comprehensive market analysis from Market Viewpoint, which is powered by cognitive market research, and really distill it for you. We'll be looking at revenue trends, growth rates, what the pros call CAGR, and how different countries and regions are shaping up. We've got data specifically from 2021, looking ahead to 2025, and then projections right out to 2033.
And what's truly compelling, I think, about these figures is how they really tell a story of increasing global demand for, well, on-the-go solutions and that massive shift towards e-commerce. You'll see some surprisingly diverse growth stories emerge, too.
Precisely. So if you've ever wondered about the sheer volume of single-use items we go through and maybe where this trend is headed globally, this deep dive is definitely for you. Okay, let's start with the overall market landscape, the big picture. Right, so in 2021, the global disposable packaging market generated, get this, $156.3 million in revenue. But here's where it gets really telling. It's projected to jump to $194 million by 2025, and then almost double again, reaching a staggering $298.8 million by 2033.
Wow. That kind of sustained surge, it translates to a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 5.55% globally. And, think about CAGR, it's like the average annual growth rate, right? It smooths out the yearly bumps, gives us a clearer long-term trend. And this consistent expansion, it strongly signals some powerful underlying drivers. Our source specifically highlights rising consumer demand for convenience, the explosive growth of e-commerce, and maybe surprisingly, sustainability trends as the main fuels for this, which does raise an important question. How do these drivers play out differently across various global markets?
Yeah, that's a crucial point. It feels a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? Sustainability driving disposable packaging. Is the idea that the demand for more eco-friendly types of disposable packaging is growing? Is that it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's spot on. The trend isn't necessarily about, abandoning disposables altogether, at least not yet. It's more about innovating within that disposable space. So consumers are increasingly looking for options like compostable materials or packaging with recycled content, maybe lighter weight designs. So while convenience still drives the overall need, the type of disposable packaging people buy is shifting, and that pushes market growth in new directions.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Right, let's zoom into North America then. This region saw its market revenue at roughly $39 million in 2021, and it's projected to grow to almost $70 million by 2033. That shows a solid CAGR of nearly 5%. Now, within North America, the United States, perhaps predictably, takes the lion's share, moving from about $30 million in 2021 to a projected $52.5 million by 2033. The CAGR there is around 4.7%.
What's particularly striking here, though, is Canada's performance. Its revenue leaped from just over $6 million in 2021 to an estimated $13.2 million by 2033. And that's supported by a notably higher CAGR of 6.429%. Wow. Yeah. It might suggest, maybe more aggressive adoption of things like food delivery services or perhaps unique regulations accelerating that shift in Canadian cities.
Interesting. And Mexico also showed consistent growth. Looks like it's set to more than double from $2.5 million to over $4 million by 2033. So, okay, the U.S. is the largest market, definitely, but Canada is really the accelerant in the region.
Okay, moving over to Europe. Europe generated nearly $46 million back in 2021. It's set to grow to over $83 million by 2033, with an overall CGR of about 5.09%. Now, given Europe's, strong environmental consciousness, how do we reconcile this growth in disposable packaging, especially with those sustainability trends we just talked about? That's a great question. And it's complex. While regulation certainly plays a big role in Europe, driving innovation towards more recyclable or maybe biodegradable disposable materials, the underlying consumer demand for convenience, particularly in things like prepared meals, takeaway food, it's still very powerful. Germany, for instance, leads Europe. Really impressive numbers, growing from about $8.6 million in 2021 to over $15 million by 2033. That's a 4.9% CAGR.
Right. And France also saw a solid expansion. From just under $7 million to almost $12.5 million by 2033, its CAGR is just over 5.2%.
And Italy posted strong growth, too. heading towards $9.5 million by 2033, with a significant 5.64% CAGR.
Really?
They recorded an even higher CAGR, 6.086%. Sales there essentially doubling from $4.58 million to $9.3 million over the period.
Really? Doubling.
Yeah, it could indicate perhaps a rapid modernization of their retail and food services sectors, maybe playing a bit of catch-up in convenience.
That makes sense. And Spain also showed an impressive 5.958% CAGR, almost doubling its market too, from $3.5 million to over $7 million by 2033. And we also see steady, notable gains from places like Switzerland, Denmark, Luxembourg, alongside the rest of Europe. Okay, now, if you're looking for where the market is truly, well, exploding, let's turn our attention to the Asia-Pacific region. This area is projected to witness the strongest expansion, growing from nearly $51 million in 2021 to a remarkable $103.8 million by 2033. That boasts a robust AGR of 6.14%. It looks poised to become the largest market overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And China understandably dominates this market. Revenue growing there from $15.5 million in 2021 to an estimated $30.7 million by 2033. That's a 5.818% CAGR. Japan also saw substantial growth, heading from $9.7 million to over $18 million. But this really raises an important question. Which country truly leads in the growth rate?
That's the key, isn't it?
It is. And India exhibited the region's highest CAGR, an astounding 7.915%, going from about $8 million in 2021 to over $20 million by 2033.
Wow.
Yeah, that isn't just a number. It powerfully illustrates the impact of its rapidly expanding e-commerce sector, increasing urbanization. India's market is just a prime example of that consumer demand for convenience, really driving exponential growth, and maybe even pushing innovation and sustainable disposable options to meet that demand.
That is a significant jump, signals a massive shift in consumer behavior there. Australia also showed a strong 6.539% CAGR, growing from $4.4 million to over $9.4 million. And Singapore and South Korea weren't far behind either, each posting over 5.7% CAGR. Southeast Asia and Taiwan also making consistent gains. However, it's probably worth noting the rest of APAC category showed minimal growth, almost flat, a 0.042% CAGR. It really highlights how varied growth can be, even within a single, really dynamic region like Asia-Pacific. The story isn't uniform at all. Okay, moving continents again, South America. The market there reached just over $10.6 million in 2021, and it's estimated to hit over $22.2 million by 2033. That's a strong 6.356% CAGR, placing it among the faster-growing regions.
Right, and Brazil, as the largest contributor there, is projected to grow from around $4.3 million to nearly $8.9 million by 2033. Its CAGR is 6.246%. But what's truly fascinating here, I found, is that Argentina and Colombia, they both displayed identical high-growth patterns, each achieving a high CAGR of 6.87%.
Identical.
Yeah, identical CAGR. Their revenues grew from $2.3 million and $1.6 million, respectively, in 2021, and both are projected to roughly double by 2033. That kind of synchronized acceleration, it's quite rare to see across different economies like that.
Huh. It's almost like they're mirroring each other's market conditions or something. Very interesting. Okay, next up, the Middle East. Their disposable packaging market expanded from $5.6 million in 2021 to projected $11.9 million by 2033. That's a solid CAGR of 6.481%.
And the UAE demonstrated the region's strongest CAGR here at an impressive 7.464%. Revenues rising from just over $1 million in 2021 to nearly $2.5 million by 2033. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, they each showed strong, consistent growth too, ranging between 6% and 6.3% CAGR, with the rest of the Middle East following pretty closely. This high growth across the board in the Middle East, it really speaks to rising disposable incomes, changing lifestyles, and a strong hospitality sector too.
Makes sense. Finally, let's look at Africa. Revenue was $4.377 million in 2021. Expected to hit $7.77 million by 2033 with a CAGR of 4.662%. So a bit slower maybe than some other emerging markets we've looked at, but still significant growth. Nigeria led the African market, revenue growing from $1.878 million to $3.201 million at a CAGR of 4.31%, followed by South Africa, which had a slightly higher CAGR at 5.137%. And the rest of Africa also saw consistent gains, just showcasing that broad, albeit varied expansion across the continent. So, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of numbers. What does this all mean for you, the listener, if you want to quickly get up to speed on the dynamics of this often overlooked but, well, pervasive market?
Well, if we connect all these data points back to the bigger picture, the global disposable packaging industry is undeniably experiencing a robust and healthy growth trajectory, no question. It's truly fueled by those overarching trends we identified early on: that relentless drive for consumer convenience, the massive and ongoing expansion of e-commerce, and that evolving landscape of sustainability, which is pushing innovation, especially in materials.
Yeah, and it's particularly fascinating to see how key regions like Asia Pacific and South America, too, are showing those above average growth rates. This isn't just about catching up, it really indicates significant promise, significant opportunity for packaging manufacturers, distributors, and, well, really anyone involved in consumer goods globally.
Exactly. Which I think raises an important final question for you to consider. As this market continues its robust growth, and as we look even beyond these 2033 projections, how do you think global and regional dynamics, things like rapid shifts in consumer preferences towards totally new materials or maybe stricter environmental regulations coming down the pipe, how will those continue to shape these impressive numbers? Will the disposable market eventually become synonymous with truly circular solutions?
That's a powerful thought to end on for today's deep dive. We certainly hope you've gained some valuable, maybe actionable insights into this really fast-moving market.
Welcome, Deep Diver. Today, we're getting into something that's absolutely everywhere in our lives, but maybe we don't always think about it too much. The disposable packaging market.
Yeah, it sounds simple, maybe even a bit dull, but it's actually incredibly complex and changing fast.
Exactly. And it might seem straightforward, but this whole sector is, well, it's really going through a massive transformation right now.
It really is. And the insights we're digging into today, they come straight from a pretty deep market analysis by cognitive market research.
Okay.
Our goal here is basically to pull out the key stuff, the really important forces shaping disposable packaging. Everything from just wanting things easy and convenient right up to these huge global pushes for sustainability.
Right. So let's jump in. What's the main reason disposable packaging is just everywhere? I mean, when you stop and think about your own day, it becomes pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Right, absolutely.
The biggest factor, you could argue, is just the massive demand from food and drinks. It's not just about, like, grabbing something quick anymore. It feels like a fundamental change in how we eat and live,
Yeah.
which ironically creates this huge waste problem because the very convenience we want makes so much stuff.
Precisely. Like that coffee cup you grab on the way to work or, the salad bowl from the cafe. It's just woven into how we live now. Indispensable, really.
And it goes beyond just the sheer amount of packaged food, right?
Yeah, totally. Think about how much more urbanized we are, how busy our lives feel. It all pushes us towards wanting things fast and simple.
Frictionless, I've heard it called.
That's a good word for it. We want products that are, quick to open, easy to use, and then just gone. Effortless disposal.
Yeah.
And that's not just food. It's personal care stuff, medical supplies, pretty much anything you buy in a shop.
And that drive for frictionless living gets a massive boost from e-commerce, doesn't it? And all the delivery apps.
Oh, absolutely. Online shopping, food delivery, it's exploded. And suddenly, packaging needs to be light, but also tough enough to survive being shipped around.
But it's more than just protection now, isn't it? It feels like the packaging itself has evolved.
Definitely. It's not just a container anymore. It's become this active surface. You see QR codes leading to AR stuff, personalized messages, things you just wouldn't have imagined 10 years ago. That wrapper is basically a mini billboard now.
Yeah, a digital billboard almost.
And what's really interesting is that in online shopping, that package might be the only physical thing the customer touches from that brand.
Good point.
So it has to carry the brand identity, the information, and increasingly, it has to shout about its green credentials, sustainability.
It's pretty wild to think how these everyday things are caught up in such big trends. And it really affects us, our choices, every single day. But, okay, it's not all smooth sailing and endless growth, is it? While this stuff has definitely taken over our routines, it's also hitting some major roadblocks now.
Absolutely. That very success, that ubiquity, has kind of stirred up a perfect storm of environmental concerns and regulatory pressures. It's forcing the whole industry to, rethink everything.
It's exactly. Let's talk about that pressure. The environmental and regulatory side is getting intense.
Yeah, it really is.
Governments, environmental groups all over the world, they're cracking down on single-use plastics, things that don't break down. We're seeing plastic bans, taxes on polluting materials, big targets for a circular economy.
Right, moving away from just take, make, dispose.
Yeah, trying to design waste out from the start, keep materials in use for longer. And that directly forces companies to find new materials, change their processes, which, Often means higher costs and big design challenges.
And those rules often crash right into another big problem: unpredictable raw material prices.
Ah,
The
yes.
cost of the basic ingredients, plastic resins, paper pulp, even the newer biopolymers, it jumps around a lot.
Why is that?
Well, it could be supply chain chaos, swings in oil prices, trade disputes, lots of things. And think about mandates for using recycled content, right? Good for the planet, sure, but it can make the price of recycled plastics, PCR they call it, go up and down like crazy compared to new plastic. Just adds more pressure.
That's a really critical point, because those price swings can hammer a company's profit margins, especially when competition is fierce. And then there's just the sheer scale of the waste problem itself.
Yeah, the waste management challenge. It's enormous. Just the volume of this stuff we throw out every single day.
Hmm.
It makes collecting it, sorting it, actually recycling it effectively really, really hard.
Especially in places where the infrastructure just isn't there or isn't used properly.
Exactly. I mean, you try finding packaging that's actually compostable sometimes, not just claiming to be. It can feel impossible.
Right. Greenwashing is a real issue.
It is. And it shows the gap between, the promises and what can actually be handled. But it also shows that people do want to make better choices, even if it's hard. All this puts packaging companies under intense scrutiny: their environmental image, public perception. It's a super complex situation.
Okay, so we've got the drivers making it essential, and these really serious challenges making it complicated. But it's not like the industry is just stuck, right? There's a lot of innovation happening too.
Definitely not stuck. This is where it gets interesting, seeing how the industry is fighting back, adapting.
So what are some of the big innovation trends?
Well, one of the most visible is the push for eco-friendly alternatives.
Okay, like what?
Things like sugarcane bagasse, that's the fiber left after crushing sugarcane. PLA, which stands for polylactic acid, it's a bioplastic. Molded fiber, like you see in egg cartons, but more advanced.
Right.
Companies are using these to make packaging that can be composted or will biodegrade, stuff that meets the new rules but also appeals to shoppers who care about the environment.
Is PLA straightforward, though? I heard it needs special facilities.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
PLA is plant-based, which is great, but yeah, it usually needs industrial composting facilities to break down properly. So the material is one thing, but having the right end-of-life setup, the infrastructure, is just as crucial for it to be truly circular.
Good distinction. So it's not just about the materials themselves. What about the design of the packaging?
Huge innovations there, too.
Yeah.
Really clever stuff. Think about tamper-evident seals on food or medicine. Leak-proof linings for, say, delivered meals. Materials that are safe to pop straight in the microwave.
Okay, yeah. Those aren't just small tweaks.
Not at all. They add real value. That tamper seal in healthcare. Absolutely vital for safety. Leak-proof food delivery means you actually get your soup, not a soggy bag. These design features make things more convenient, safer, and they're really raising the bar for quality.
And for brands selling everyday stuff, FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, that branding on the pack is still king, right?
And absolutely critical, like your shampoo bottle or your snack bar wrapper.
So how is innovation changing that?
This is where digital printing comes in. It's a game changer. Companies can now use digital tech to personalize packaging really easily. Think vibrant seasonal designs, special offers, those interactive QR codes we mentioned.
They're not just massive print runs anymore.
Exactly. Short-run customization. It lets brands connect with people more directly, maybe make the packaging feel a bit more special, helps them stand out, especially when supermarket shelves or online stores are so crowded.
Okay, so if we pull back a bit, these innovations, the new materials, the smarter designs, the digital printing, they're directly tackling those challenges we talked about earlier.
That's the connection, yeah. It shows the industry isn't just, reacting passively to regulations or cost pressures. It's actively innovating, adapting, trying to meet our demands for convenience and the planet's need for more sustainable solutions. It's a balancing act.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today, it's clear that the disposable packaging market is, well, it's right in the middle of a huge shakeup.
Definitely dynamic.
Yeah. Big challenges still exist: regulations, costs, waste management. But you've also got this powerful wave of innovation in materials, in design, and how brands use packaging to connect with us. That's pushing the industry forward.
It really is. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener. Think about this ongoing mix, this fusion, maybe of function, sustainability, and just how appealing the packaging looks and feels. It's not just going to change the products we buy. It's actually shaping our daily interactions with the world around us. Just notice it next time an online order arrives, or you grab a coffee, or even see medical supplies. That wrapper, that box, that bag. It's all part of a much bigger story that's still unfolding.